welcome to the Enterprise Vision Awards information event. So thank you for taking time out to join us. This picture is from last year. So we've got a couple of winners in the room with us this morning who will see themselves here celebrating with us last year. I can see the ladies there. So I'm Coral and I founded the awards back in 2011. And initially the awards were for Northwest. But we kept getting lots of entrants saying, can I enter? And they weren't in the Northwest. And we're like, no, you're in London. Well, you're in Scotland. So eventually we realised we were the largest celebration of women in business in the UK. And we went national a few years ago. So this is year 4, I think now, we've been national. So now, and for me, that's fabulous because we knew a massive community of amazing female founders in the Northwest. And I was doing a lot of business with people and women outside of the Northwest. Now we can all connect them. So we're connecting women from all over, from Scotland to London to wherever. And the whole point of doing that is so they can do some business and learn stuff. And I'm sure the ladies who join us today will tell you how they've connected through the EVAS as well. If you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn and you'd like to, please do use the QR code here and that'll take you through to my LinkedIn and all my contact details are on there. So if you have any questions or you want to see, you know, what we're up to, please do follow us on LinkedIn. I'm just going to play you a little bit of a snippet from last year so you get an idea of what the awards are like. Oops, hang on. Go back. There. There we go. So just to explain about the video you've just seen, we have the awards in the Winter Gardens in Blackpool, and the room that we have it in is the ballroom, which is absolutely stunning. So it's always one of the things that ladies say when they come. We appreciate your taking time to attend the awards. You're buying a ticket, you're taking time out of work, you're coming up to Blackpool, staying over. We want you to come to the awards and think, wow, this is amazing, and feel that it's really special. So the whole night is all geared up around making sure that you guys can have as much fun as possible and in the best surroundings. So we have all sorts of entertainment that goes on, and it's really about you having fun and letting your hair down. It's a serious business awards, but at the same time doesn't mean we can't have some fun along the way. So the date of the event this year is Friday, the 2nd of October. And it's the Winter Gardens in Blackpool. What we also do is as we go through the process, you'll find out that we work with various suppliers of hotels that we partner with to get preferential rates so they can suit everybody's needs in regards to budgets and stuff as well. So as a nominee, you receive some graphics, some marketing graphics that you can use on your social media. We do encourage you to get involved and to share those. It's always great to put it out on social media because it's good news. You'll get lots of responses on social, so it's all good for your followers. And if you use the QR code in the corner, you can download the graphics pack. Lizzie, who's on the call with us, looks after all our PR and marketing. And as finalists, when people get through to the finalist stage, we actually do a press release for every single finalist, as well as we do for winners when the winners are announced on the night. So we get things go on. Today, obviously, we're online, but we also do in-person events as well. So recently we went to Cardiff and had an in-person event here. in there, sorry. Our next event is actually in the House of Lords. So we'll be visiting the Houses of Parliament, and we have a very special afternoon tea in the Chomley room, which is a private terrace. We can only take 120, and we will be spending 4 hours connecting, enjoying lunch, hearing from a panel of experts, and also 2 very special keynote speakers. One of which is Theo Paphitis, who's working with us this year, and he will be our keynote there. He's spending 90 minutes having time to spend chatting with people, taking pictures and getting involved. He's a big promoter of small businesses, which is why we were so keen to work with Theo. And then also we've got Harriet Hastings, who was a finalist last year, and she has Biscuiteers, which is a hand-iced biscuit company. And she's in Fortnum and Mason's, and also supplies people like Christian Dior when they have fashion shows in Paris and they need handbags creating in biscuits. So she does lots of corporate biscuit gifting as well. And she's got an amazing story about how she started. There is a wait list, and again, you got it, there's a QR code. So if you scan the QR code, it will take you through to the wait list, and you can be joining us potentially on Thursday, the 21st of May, at the House of Lords. So as I mentioned, there's lovely Theo who's working with us. So exclusively, we've done a deal with Theo this year to collaborate, and we're really pleased to have him and his team from SBS on board. This year we will be having a special award at the EVAS, which will be the Theo Paphitis SBS Small Business Award, and it will be given out to an SBS winner. So anybody who is an SBS winner can enter the EVAS this year, apply for the SBS award, and all those finalists from the SBS will be gifted a free ticket from us to attend the ceremony. So when you enter the EVAS, please have a look for the SBS one, and if you're an SBS winner, you can apply for that. Okay, so I'm going to introduce now one of our first winners, who's joined us today from last year, to tell us about her EVA journey and what's happened before, through the journey, and since. It's Louise Walden-Edwards. Over to you, Louise, please.
Hello, hi everybody. I was sat just where you are right now, about 12 months ago, whenever that was, trying to work out, making notes, what on earth was going to happen. I had no idea what the next 12 months would have in store for me, and it's been incredible. So I'll start with a little bit of who I am to introduce myself to you. So I'm the founder of VO Ice Fitness and Wellbeing Academy, and my business won Best New Business at the EVAS just in last September. I'm a former athlete, a sports commentator, sports coach, and now I think I can say an entrepreneur with everything that I do. The experience with the EVAs was brilliant from start to finish. Like I say, I was sat where you are right now, making notes, trying to work out, well, not really believing I had a shot, if I'm honest. But I honestly, genuinely made the most of the whole experience. I came on the calls that were offered to me, and I used it as a journey of discovery. About myself and the business. So there was a lot to gain from that in terms of growth and finding the next steps. I attended the House of Commons last year. I almost didn't, and that would have been a huge mistake if I'd have not have gone. The connections that I made there, the people that I talked to, it was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic. And I've already booked my ticket to attend again at the House of Lords this year. I wouldn't dare miss it now after last year. But just to demonstrate to you the power of attending that event for me, obviously it was part of my awards journey. But I met a lady called Rebecca Heald in the queue. Queuing to go into the House of Commons, who then ended up sat on my table at the EVAs later on in the year. I met Jane Knight, who is now my mentor again through the EVAs to help me try and grow my business. Heather Waters, who I believe is on the board, who I'll be with in Manchester on Friday. I was just, chit-chatting to these people. I didn't really know who I was talking to, honestly. I was just like, oh, that's lovely. You work for, you've been, Nat West. Rosie Dummer. I bake cakes. Wow, you bake cakes. Well, no, not only does she bake cakes, this is a phenomenal woman that presents the awards. I didn't really know at the time what was going on. I was very naively just being very attentive. Maxine Laceby, you might know who she is. I was chit-chatting to her as well. Well, she's the founder and the owner of Absolute Collagen, who was then one of the speakers at the event, who now likes my posts on Instagram as a result of the EVAS, because I don't think she'd have a clue who I was otherwise. Lindsay Hoyle, Speaker of the House of Commons. So I do actually know Lindsay because I'm from Chorley. So we were able to just reconnect there at the House of Commons. And yes, I was back on his radar. And it was there, actually, at the House of Commons, I realised the significance and importance of my interview that I think was about 2 weeks after the House of Commons. Before that, I was thinking, oh, well, I'll just jump on the call and I'll just tell them about myself. I can chit chat for maybe 5, 10 minutes, whatever. And then I was realizing it was a little bit more than that. It was a little bit bigger. And the opportunity that I had of now being named as a finalist, not just a nominee, was something really special. And the power and the importance and significance of the Enterprise Vision Awards that I had been selected to be part of further down the line. I did not want to mess this up. So I went home. I think it was a Thursday, wasn't it? So the Friday, I was on it with my presentation, trying to work out what was I going to do. Now, I'm a very much an all or nothing kind of person. So I would advise you to go with what works for you, not what I'm suggesting. But I did prepare some slides, but I decided that I was going to do it my way and I was going to be myself and just deliver my passion effectively. So I'm an ice skater, got this bright red hair. I'm in a business category. I wasn't quite sure how well received I was going to be. I went armed with this is my Bolero Bear mascot. So I sat there with my mascot thinking there's absolutely no way they're going to go for this. But nonetheless, this is me. And I told my story of me and how I got to make my business. And when I finished, I put a star in the jar. And this is my star jar. And when my students do something incredible, because they're all over the world, we put a star in the jar. So it's very corny and very cheesy. But I'm pretty sure that all my judges remembered this moment. So I think being memorable, being yourself, and delivering your passion are the take homes for me when it comes to your presentation. I don't know. I guess I impressed them because I won, but at the same time, I think, it's being prepared and knowing your stuff. And I think reflecting back on that interview now, I think what I did with it was I was able to say where I'd come from, where I was at now, what my why was, and what I wanted to do next. And then because I kind of had those, I was then asked some questions after I gave the pitch, the presentation, and then that helped me answer the questions. So again, I'm not suggesting you should do it my way, but I'm giving you a little bit of insight into that part of the competition. And then I just kept up to date with the awards process, sharing things on social media. As Lizzie and Coral say, if you tag them in something, they're so supportive. And even as a finalist, they're super supportive. And then somewhere along the way in September, we came to the awards night, which is incredible, absolutely wonderful. I was told it was re-wear. So I joked with Lizzie that, oh, well, in which case, if you can't be too overdressed, I'll wear a skating costume. And she sort of went, great idea, well done, go for it. And then I was like, oh no. So what you see me wearing there on that picture was actually one of my skating costumes. I wasn't actually sure I'd fit in it, but nonetheless, Lycra was very forgiving, and rhinestones. So there you go. I did rewear, as I said I would. And it's just lovely. You go in, it is very special. There's a red carpet, you're taking pictures, it feels so, so special, whether you're a guest, whether you're a finalist, whether you're a winner. It was just absolutely fabulous. And I loved every minute of it. Lizzie might send you a message saying, even if you think you're not going to win, prepare a speech. I didn't think I was going to win, so I didn't prepare a speech. So then when I won, it took me really by surprise. And then I had to stand up and go, oh my gosh, now I know why Lizzie said prepare a speech, because I really haven't prepared a speech. But what I did say, I meant every word of it. It was perhaps slightly less eloquent than it would have been had I have planned it. But what I gained from the whole experience is connections, confidence, and community. And I really feel that the whole process has made me so much more confident to network and make connections. If I need something now, I can just think of a whole host of people that I can reach out to who could help me with something. And that is not purely because I won, but because I'm part of the EVAS. I'm part of this network now, and it was a pleasure to be able to give back, and to be asked to do this as well. But so I suppose I should stop waffling about all of that. But yeah, the event, please go, please come. Don't think whether you're a finalist, whatever, bring people along with you. It's incredible. I loved it, every minute of it. But yeah, what happened after for me, some of which I actually believe would have still happened, irrespective of winning or not. But obviously winning it's been huge for me, honestly. I go places now, and if somebody introduces me and they say, I've won an EVAS, people go, oh, she won an EVA award, It means something. People take notice. People know who I am sometimes before I've even spoken to them. I was in Chester a few weeks ago, and there were a whole sprinkling of people that I either met at the EVAs or I know through the EVAs, or it is literally a network. We're all interlinked. And like Coral was saying at the beginning, Louise, are you going to the Festival of Enterprise on Friday? Yes, I am. I'm in Manchester. I already know of my EVAs network that are going to be there. I'm going to catch up with, which is incredible. So yes, Chorley Council know who I am. I'm from Chorley. I'm a Chorley business. Chorley Council, because I'd just been under the radar doing my own little thing. They didn't know who I was. I got announced as the winner on the night, and it turned heads because they weren't aware of me. They've been wonderful and so supportive. They have now funded a qualification for me to do. It's the absolute highest level that I can probably achieve. And they funded that for me off the back of winning the EVAs. So that's incredible. I've met with business advisors. They've put me on workshops. There are people contacting me to ask me if I would like to be part of things as opposed to me knocking on the doors. I mean, I will never stop knocking on doors, but that is a huge advantage. At Christmas, I was at the opening of the Chorley pop-up ice rink, drinking mulled wine with Lindsay Hoyle, who I'd seen 6 months earlier at the House of Commons for afternoon tea. That was bonkers. Lizzie got me teaching BBC to skate at Christmas at the Preston ice rink. So I was with Sharon in a purple cape doing that again as an EVAS winner, which was wonderful. I've been in Lancashire Life. I'm now part of the mentorship program. I'm being mentored by one of the EVAS community. That's a huge, huge advantage for myself to be learning from wonderful people. And I really think that if you invest in the process, you can get a lot out of the experience. And like I say, I think perhaps lots of things would have happened anyway, even just as a finalist. But I really think pushing yourself and believing that, being a finalist maybe probably means you're still worthy of being a winner and going with that, it's going to really going to elevate you. And I have a lot to be. I mean, Coral, Lizzie, thank you. Honestly, I really can't. I hope I've sung your praises, but I'm not sure I could really do justice what you've done for me over the past year. So thank you.
Oh, thank you,
But
Louise.
okay, I really, honestly, genuinely, I'm not just saying that. I really am so.
No, we just love when you get involved, and I think that's really the thing. If you throw yourself into this and you come on the calls, you get in the room, you have those conversations, then you're just opening the doors. So well done, you, and thank you for joining us today. We
It's an
appreciate it.
absolute pleasure. Thank you.
You can connect with Louise on the QR code there. So please do connect because everything we do is all about encouraging connection. So next you're going to hear from Jigna. So again, another winner from last year. We're now going to hear from Jigna Varu, who will tell you a little bit about how it was for her.
Good morning, everyone. It's always a tough act to follow, isn't it? Going second, I guess. So I guess my experience was, I guess, very similar to Louise's, but I'm going to share it from my point of view. So I'd never heard of the EVAS before. I started my business. I guess I should give you a little bit of background behind it. I'm a chemist, but also a makeup artist, and kind of gone through a very challenging career, however you want to call it. I decided to launch my own brand, which is called Varu Beauty, thinking actually there's a lot of stuff that people are piling onto their skins. Why not stand for something that makes a difference? So I launched back in 23, and last year we won the award for best business. Now, never having heard of the EVAs, and if you're a founder, an entrepreneur, just like myself, you'll all have those nights where you've got tears streaming down your face, you're in your pajamas because you don't know what to do, you're Googling how to figure out life at 2 a.m. in the morning or whatever else. So I was actually doom scrolling on Instagram or TikTok as you do. And I saw a friend of mine who's actually modelled for my brand, Fiona Lambert. I know she's involved with the EVAs too. And she'd put up this post on her story saying, if you're a female founder or you're an entrepreneur, you need to apply for this. And when you kind of scroll past and you've got this thought going on, and you're like, no, actually, let me scroll back. What was that again? And us women, we suffer with the whole, is that me? Am I good enough? I've only been going for 2 years. All of these questions kind of pop in. And I thought, pardon my French, F it. What have I got to lose at this point? Let's just go for it. And that's just me being completely real. So I didn't send Fiona a message. I just kind of looked at the application form, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't tell no one about it because I was so nervous, thinking, crap, like, what if this actually becomes a thing? And I remember getting a message on my Instagram, and I believe it was from Maisie actually. I don't know if it was from Lizzie, and it just said, Jigna, someone's been trying to call you for the last 2 days or something. And I'm thinking, sorry, who? What's going on? And I'll be honest, I was expecting it to be bad news, just to be like, thank you for your application, but really appreciate you. Try again next year, but you've not made it through. And then when Maisie's on the phone saying to me, and it was a Friday, and I remember the sun was shining just like today. We're sat in the garden working away. I was sat there with my media team. And because if there's not food and drink, then it could have just been an online meeting, but in person, there's always food. And Maisie goes to me, just to let you know, there's some good news. And I'm thinking, okay. And she goes, congratulations, we've kind of put you forward. And I'm like, me? And it's like all those thoughts that you've had, the self-doubt, am I good enough? All of it, that one moment just kind of goes. And I remember like my mum walking through with her, she was doing some gardening at the time. And it was actually one of the team members. They're like, are you not going to tell your mum what's just happened? And I'm just like, no one needs to know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen just yet. Like, it might be a prank call and then what? So all of these things again going through. And I remember telling my mum, and she's just got tears streaming down. And the reason why it was so important was it was a first award that we'd put forward for the actual brand ourselves. Going into the process, I was just kind of like, okay, Jigs, what are we going to do? And one thing that I fully embraced was all the advice that the team gave me. Like Liz is fantastic, Maisie, Coral, the whole team, anyone that you speak to are literally oozing like female empowerment from their bloodline. If you cut them open, you'd probably see those words coming out of them. And what I found so powerful was even when we had the call to kind of go through the interview process in terms of what to expect, some of the judges were in the room, and you'll meet some of these people at the House of Lords event coming up. Maybe I don't know what's happening this year, so I'm not in the organising team, but the team will keep you updated. And one thing for me that really stood out was, and again we were told beforehand, is they're not there to catch you out. They're not like Dragon's Den. They're not grilling you like no tomorrow. It was just such a beautiful conversation, and once the first 20 seconds are over with and your nerves are a little bit more calmed down, I guess, I mean, Louise, I'm sure you'll agree with me because I think we were in the same waiting room at the time. It's such a beautiful journey, but one thing I will say is do take the time to prep. I kind of spent a couple of weeks really brainstorming ideas of the things I wanted to speak about, had about 6 pages of notes that I wanted to kind of get through. And I remember the morning of my interview sitting there to think, I'm not revising for an exam. Like, I can't revise all of these notes, but the only thing I can do is be me. And as the founder of my own business, if I don't know my business inside and out, then I'm probably on the wrong platform. Like Louise said, I was also at the House of Commons event, and again, I didn't know anyone that had ever won an EVA award before, and whatever else. What I did find out later down the line was I was an application of around 800 applications, something that came forward, guys, probably a little bit more than that. And I think that's when the reality kicked in for me to be like, wow, out of all of these people, they've kind of like shone this light on me to be like, there's a little bit something in her. Again, something that I've loved about the EVAs that's been very different to other awards is you're not just an application, so you're not going to just land into someone's hands. The judges are not just going to read you and be like, yes, this person, yes or no. There's a whole interview process. So I'm not good on paper. It was a reason why when I first started my career, when I was about 21, 22, I got rejected by 50 companies because I couldn't get a job interview. And that's because my CV says she's got half a degree, she's very young, and she's got no experience. So what with the EVAs, you're able to actually not sell yourself, but actually talk about yourself. So what a paper can't do, you're able to do that. You have the opportunity to do that in person. Coming on to the actual awards, I live in Leicester, so I'm very far from Blackpool. So in my head, I'm thinking, wow, I've not been to Blackpool before. And you have those conversations with people around you to be like, oh, I'm going to Blackpool. And you get the whole mixed thing of you're going to have a great time. And you also get the whole other thing of, oh, let me know your experience. So you never know, what's happening. But I did know, being with the EVAS community, I was going to be in good hands anyway. Again, advice, something that I did. I travel a lot with my business, and I'm not always available on emails. And I had Coral, Lizzie, and Maisie hounding me to be like, Jigs, you've not booked your ticket. And I don't think I booked mine until like literally a few days before it. I was literally not in the country at all. So a piece of advice, book your tickets early. If you want better seats in the house and you want a good view, get them in early. Blackpool was an experience. I remember walking into the venue and I was wowed. Like, I was actually there with my partner, and he was like, "Do you think we can speak to Coral and just get our wedding booked here? Because they've got the decor and everything sorted anyway. We can just kind of broker a deal." And it was just such a wow, 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 wow feeling. And obviously, you recognize people you've been in the room before. Louise, your red hair always stands out, so I can spot you in any room. And you kind of realize people that have been there, and it's just kind of like, wow. And even if you didn't get a chance to speak to them at the House of Commons or the House of Lords event that's coming up, you will always have another networking opportunity because the EVAS team, they're fantastic at putting on these events, and they happen all around the country. So, if you feel like, oh, Blackpool's a bit too far or this is a bit too far, speak to the team. Like Lizzie, Coral, you guys are fantastic at really taking on feedback. And if there is enough of a demand for anything, I'm sure you guys always make it work. I mean, Coral, we had a conversation with my beauty stuff, didn't we? Saying, come and do my makeup and we'll make it into a thing and stuff. So, if you want someone to embrace your wacky ideas, you're in the right hands. But going back to the awards evening, one thing I loved was how serious everyone in the room takes about dressing up. Like, they're there to have a good time. And one thing is that you never get the whole thing of, I'm a finalist tonight, or I'm a nominee, or I'm a this or whatever else. We're all just people in that room. And these women are in there to lift you up. I mean, considering there was over 600 people in that room, I didn't know anyone apart from the ones that I'd met at the EVA's events. I remember how people were cheering and clapping so loudly when I won that event, won the award. And it was like, wow, you might have your friends, your family at home that don't support what you do. But when you're in the EVAS community, you've got every woman there behind you, and damn, do you feel powerful. So embrace it, enjoy it, take whatever you can from it, and it's only the beginning. Because after that, like Louise said, what happens after the award ceremony, whether you've won or not, you need to buckle up because you've been in for a ride of a lifetime.
You're making me smile there, Jigna, taking me back to that. Thank you. So yeah, a big bit of advice there. So I teased Jigna after the awards because she was the last finalist that had the last winner that didn't have a ticket, and we knew she was the winner. And we were talking about this, Lizzie and I, earlier. A lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes, i.e., the spotlight men who operate the spots that follow the winners from their chair to as they walk towards the stage, and it's beamed out onto the big screen so everybody can see that amazing moment when they realize their name's been called and they walk up to the music they've chosen to take to the stage. It's a really important moment for us, and we really want to capture it. And so it's like, oh my God, we don't even know if she's not got a ticket. We don't know where she's sitting. The spot men are going, where's this last winner? And I'm like, listen, guys, as soon as she's got one, we'll tell you. But yeah, it is. There's lots of stuff, and that's why we were chasing her a little bit. But it's all good just to make sure everything is special for your moment. And you looked beautiful, both of you. So thank you. So you've heard it from the ladies there. And if you weren't able to join us for the application masterclass, you can still watch it. We recorded it, so you can use the QR code and rewatch the online session that we did, which gives you some tips and advice on how to make the most of your application so that you stand out against everybody else that has applied. Something that we have created this year is what we call our she chain. So over the last few years, I've been focusing on how I spend my money. I call it my she chain rather than my supply chain. It's really important that we try to purchase from female-founded businesses as much as we can to support each other. So taking that one step further, we are creating a she chain community. So if you use the QR code, you can scan that and be on the She Chain waitlist. So in September, we will be opening the She Chain community where you can all come together, you can all connect, because we know once we're together, then we can be stronger. I think from the ladies, what you've said here, it's all about the community with us. And then the next stage of that is the day before the EVAS this year on the 1st of October, which is the Thursday. We will be in the conference centre, which is with the Winter Gardens, the same building. We're going to have an event where we bring female founders together to find out how they create pitch deck, how they do a brand deck, how do they get into stockists, how do they export. They're going to have some buyers there as well. And we're going to be doing a she den, and we have a keynote speaker. So it's all about filling in those gaps and how do you get into a supply chain. So all of those types of things to help you grow your business. So please do sign up for that. And then we often speak to many of our founders. I get the privilege of interviewing them to put them out on our podcast, which is on Spotify. So girls, if you haven't gathered it yet, the QR code takes you to Spotify. Please sign up and follow us on Spotify. I meet some amazing people through this process, and it's really great to hear their stories. It's inspiring, and we learn so much. So season 2 is just about to be launched. You heard Louise talking about the mentor program. So she jumped on the opportunity of being mentored. It's free mentorship that is available to people who come through the process. So you can sign up to be mentored or to be a mentee. So one or the other, whichever you want. We've got some ladies doing both. But again, it's free, and it's just beneficial for us to share knowledge. Other events we do, so the girls were saying we're always up to something, and we get involved with our EVA winners. We get them involved as speakers at our events. This shows you here, Shalom Lloyd, who won the year before, fabulous female founder, previous winner with us, came and spoke at our summer regional event previously. This year, we have another one on Wednesday, the 5th of August. We're having it in Leyland, which is near Preston in Lancashire. a full day, people exhibiting, lunch, speakers, loads of networking and connections, and always fun. Everything we do, we want it to be fun. And so that's it. Our social media is here. So you can join in the conversation and use the hashtag to get involved and to connect with other people. We're on all the platforms that you would expect. So, and any information about social media or questions, hand over to Lizzie because she looks after all of that. So that's everything. I'm pretty much on time. I thought I was going to be behind there. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to give to me or to anybody else?
I just have a quick question, please.
Yeah.
Will we be able to get a copy of the slides so we can take copies of the QR codes?
Yeah, Lizzie.
Perfect.
Lizzie, do you want to take that over?
Thank you.
I'm just saying we'll send over the slides, the links, anything that we've included today, and also the recording will be available online.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Sophie. Anybody else got questions?
Yes. So how long does the interview process take? The presentation, if you're successful with the application?
Yep. So you only get an interview if you have been selected as a finalist. So just to explain the process, when you're selected as a finalist, you'll receive a phone call normally, and it's Maisie who has the pleasure of doing that because it's a great bit to ring up people and say, hey, you're a finalist, because sometimes we get screams and whoops and shouts and all sorts. So yeah, firstly, you'll get a phone call. Maisie will talk you through the process. What we do say is don't accept the position if you're not going to go through with it, because by taking that finalist position, you've knocked somebody else. Somebody else has been knocked out in that process. So you do need to attend your interview. There is we've done a traffic light system online that explains all the sections, what we do for you as a finalist throughout the process. So yeah, you'll get an interview. It's online. It's 20 minutes. What we do ask you to do is to join us ahead of in the Zoom room. So Lizzie and I are in the Zoom room. We make sure that you know how to do your tech, how to operate the share your sound, all that sort of stuff. We'll also talk you through what's going to happen when you come to Blackpool, give you some heads up about really important things like you win a speech and all of that sort of stuff. Then you go into a separate Zoom room with the judges. So there's usually 3 judges and an adjudicator. The adjudicator is there just to keep note of the timing, keep everybody on course, make sure that each finalist is treated equally and fairly, that they've asked the same questions. There's set questions for each category. They're all slightly different depending on the category you get into. The judges will score. They do that themselves. We ask them not to confer. The totals then come through to us and we total them up. So what happens after that 20 minutes? So you have the first 5 minutes, you do a presentation. So it's 5 minutes for your presentation, then judge 1 with their questions, over to judge 2 for their questions, and then the final judge for their questions. And they all have 5 minutes each, so it's total 20 minutes, and it goes really quickly. Everybody tells us it goes in a flash. There is an element of voting. We do that for 2 reasons. One, because it gives you the opportunity to put it out on social media, which helps you to promote yourself. It's not terrifying, Susan, I promise you. The people love it. And then when also after with the voting part, when people vote, the scores are only added to people if they've tie-breaked. So say Jigna and Louise have been in the same category and the judges have scores come through and they've tied and we don't have a clear winner, that's when the votes are added and it gives us a clear winner. It doesn't happen very often. It may happen once a year. We might get one category where it's affected, but really it's just a case of a marketing opportunity for everybody. Louise is saying she unexpectedly really enjoyed her interview. See, they all go in really nervous and they come out smiling. Lizzie, have you got a hand up there?
Yes. So I think we should just mention as well, we also hold an interview masterclass, which is recorded before the interviews, and it helps you. We go through step by step what you can be doing, how you can maximize like your interview, whether you're doing slides, presentation. so we have the interview masterclass, which again is recorded and you can rewatch it. But we also have a session where you can actually join us in the sort of, not a mock interview, but a room where you can actually do your testing of your tech. So when it comes to your interview, we want you to be relaxed and to enjoy it. I think one thing that Coral's always saying is the judges, they have already chosen you. So at that point, they just want to get more details about you. It's just an opportunity to turn your application from black and white into colour.
Okay, we've got Celia there. Is the masterclass? Oh, hang on, we've got lots of questions coming through here. Let's see if we can get this chat open.
So the masterclass for the finalists, when we contact the finalists, we send them a link to actually book in for the masterclass. I have to say, Coral, because I know we're Maisie, sometimes we don't get hold of all of the finalists until the finalists have actually been announced. We spend weeks trying to get hold of people, but occasionally somebody might be on holiday, their phone might not be working. We try all different ways, but occasionally you'll see the announcement before you get our phone call. So you are invited to the masterclass ahead of the actual interview. We've tried to do it so you've got a couple of weeks in between. But we took lots of photographs of people surreptitiously at the interviews last year, and they were all smiling. I think we had maybe one or two nervous faces, but even when they were going in, they were like, yes, I've got this.
Any other questions? Can we see? Anybody? No, I'm trying to jump through the chat here. Do you know the
Debbie has a question.
Yeah, so we've got a question there from Lisa, helpful for movers. Yeah, it's Maisie that normally calls. And usually you'll have had her details. Yeah, what we suggest is if you do have a call from Maisie, just to store her number in your phone or store our numbers in your phone. So if you can see it's anybody to do with the EVAS, answer. That's the best advice. Okay, any more questions?
Debbie had a question. Oh,
can you see the question?
Yes. What's the cost of the House of Commons event and the EVA ticket?
Yes.
Please.
The House of Commons is 125. You'll have a drinks reception, so a welcome drink on arrival, and then we have an afternoon tea. And obviously we're in the private room on the terrace of the Thames. And the tickets for the awards ceremony are, correct me if I'm wrong, Lizzie, I think it's £187.50 plus VAT for the evening. And obviously we do a free course meal, drinks reception on arrival, and obviously there's loads of entertainment there as well. When we look at all the other national awards that are out there, we try to make sure that we are as reasonable as we possibly can be. And if you compare us to others, you will find that we are considerably cheaper in regards to tickets. Have we got any more questions there?
I've just added.
Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, not-for-profit. So if you get through to the not-for-profit category as a finalist and you're a charity, we gift you a free ticket. If you need a carer and you're registered and you have your certificate, we will do a carer ticket as well for you. And if you're an SBS winner and you get through to the SBS category, again, we'll gift you a ticket. Any other questions? We all good? Have I covered everybody? I've got one new.
Debbie's got a question. I'm a single mum and would need to bring my kids.
Yeah, so we have had children. The youngest we've had was Hannah Silito bought her son, who was 2, Freddie, went up on stage when she won, which was lovely. So yeah, children can come, but we do just remind you that, you know, people are drinking. I can't, you know, people might drop naughty words around the room, you know. But yeah, just it is an adult event. The children are always welcome. We had, was it last year that Pretty brought her family?
Yeah.
And Lois Kirtland brought her daughter last year. She was up on stage. It was a birthday. So yeah, some children do come. Yes, and the audience did swoon over Freddie. He was gorgeous. 4 now. Into everything, apparently. Anybody else? Okay, I think we're all good. So I'm conscious now we have gone over time with the questions. So some people may have already left, but if you have any burning questions that you'd like to connect with us after, you've got our details. So do get in touch. We're always happy to take your calls. If you've got questions you'd rather ask directly. So Lizzie, did you take any pictures? Are you going to do
Let me take one. Let me take one now, and I'll do some magic
some magic? Why do we need magic?
for anyone I've missed. So, ladies, could I ask you for a big smile on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I'll magic people in where necessary.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. Jigna and Louise, thank you for your time. It's really appreciated. And it's always lovely to see you both.